Hot women. Hot, hot women. Oh man, what time is it? 4:38 a.m. I woke up about 30 minutes ago. Already had almost a cup of coffee. Boy, coffee sure tastes good when you first wake up. Oh man, what am I gonna do today? Oh man, I don't know. I want to drive my Lincoln. Wanted to drive it Sunday because that's, early in the morning because, nobody's out really. But hell, it was raining and all that. I don't want to get that car dirty when I don't actually need to go somewhere. Let me make sure my audible sound is coming in right because I don't know, something with Microsoft settings, it keeps changing my microphone sound setting from 100% to like 80%. Hell, and you can't even hear what I'm saying, when that happens. Okay, it's working. Okay, cool. I hate that. There's so many things that were better, you know, in the past, as far as the internet, 'cause I didn't have to keep resetting settings, or whatever. Oh well, enough of that and all that good stuff. But I wanted to talk about, here's a woman that was totally overlooked. And she was given the part like in the Happy Day show back in the 70s. She was given the part as a mother that wore a dress way down to her mid shins or calves, like between the knees and the ankles. And really, she was highly, highly underestimated even then. Man, she could have played in a movie. Man, and I'll tell you what, turned some men's heads, man. I'll tell you what, that woman was underestimated when she was younger. Because even when she was up in her 50s, she had some ass, guys. I'll tell you what, Marion Ross, she played Mrs. Cunningham on Happy Days. I saw a movie, and I think it was made like around 1962, I think. I don't know how old she would have been there, but probably, I don't know, around 28, maybe 30. And it's a movie to where, the man was wearing a suit and she was in the kitchen and had this, oven, with the stove top. It looked standard, like the standard 38-inch stove top with the oven door lid, baking something. And this husband that wore a suit, he'd keep coming in there and saying, "Dear, we've got guests arriving. Is that roast done yet?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm hurrying. I'm hurrying." She played a part as a dominated wife, and she had on these stretch knit pants. Man, and when she would bend over and open that oven door, man, I got so damn horny. Oh my God. I thought, why don't they let me? I wished I'd have been playing her husband in that part back then. I'd have grabbed her by the hair and taken her up in the bedroom. And it'd show occasionally to where he'd be walking around in the living area and it had a staircase, to where it went. And I thought, man, I'd be dragging her upstairs and I'd tell the guests to go to hell. I'd have her in bed all day long. Men out there, guys, she had an ass, man, unbelievable. Oh my gosh. But there's a lot of unrecognized, types or women, they just waste it. When they're in their youth, they waste it. Oh my God. I remember when I was 29, I used to hang out with this woman named Lenny, and she had just turned 51. And she would tell me, she'd say, you know, Earl, when I was younger, I was stupid. And she looked pretty good back then. That was in 1985, the later part of the year. And she said I was stupid. She said I wasted my looks when I was younger and had fear my husband would leave me and all this. She said, man, I could have, and she liked sex a lot like I do. Well, actually, most women do. Women are phony. They're taught to be that way. You know, from their childhood, they're taught to be phony and not be honest. Most women are hornier than us men are, people, actually. Because I have a complete, you know, I was born and raised with two older sisters. I know what they're really like. And I remember school from the first grade in elementary school on up and what girls were like versus the boys, you know? You know, the type things they like doing, things that girls would do together. Girls actually, before they're able to have sex with boys when they get up in about high school, they actually do things with each other. So what is bisexual sex is actually common within girls, but that's something held back because slumberjay parties, what the hell do you think that is? Or when, you know, girls are about 12, 13, and two of their other girls, you know, from school sleep over the night. What do y'all think is happening? It's not like on the Gidget show that they used to show. Oh no, oh no. Because I knew a lot of other girls. I didn't just have my sisters to compare with, but other girls. But you know, it's nothing wrong there. You know, it's just everything has to be monitored or whatever. But oh well. But you know, that's something. Why was that never recognized? Why did Hollywood never recognize the ass that woman had? Woo! Here's something y'all guys could try. Go back, type in Marion Ross movie she starred in. Dig back to the late 50s or early 60s and find one where she's wearing pants and look at her ass, guys. Look at that, her ass. Damn. And I remember even when I'd watch Happy Days, even with her with that dress on, I was looking at her body. Oh, yeah. Her hip width, you know, and her backside. And, you know, but she was made to where she wasn't looked at in that one. Well, she should have been. Marion Ross, if you watch this, you were hot, baby. You were hot. You were hot. Hell, if she would have been with me, we probably would have had 12 kids or something. Because, man, oh, man, she appeals to me. Because those are the type women that turn me on. Like Barbara Eden, you know, tall for the way she looks. I don't know her exact height, but I guess we'd consider her one of the tall women. And, you know, her ass. Oh my God. Woo! And I think I like women when they're a little older too, because you know Barbara Eden, like when she was on I Dream of Jeannie, I think she was up in her late 20s maybe. When she made Harper Valley PTA, that was up in 1977 or so. Hell, I think she looked better. I think women can look better even when they get up into their 30s, you know. I think they can actually look better. Because, you know, the length of their pussy increases for one thing, you know, and there's just other things. And the size of their ass increases. It turns me on. Now, I don't like fat. But with their stomach is semi-flat, almost flat. And they got hips and they got some ass back there. It really turns me on. And another one I've seen here and there, I'd see it in old movies. Okay, like let's take Shirley MacLaine. Shirley MacLaine never had the ass like Barbara Eden or Marion Ross had. Oh no, oh no. But I wouldn't have passed her up because I loved her voice, man. I loved her voice, and but those women are my type. I saw another, I think it was an Alfred Hitchcock movie. And this went back to the late 50s. The way I can tell is by cars, that they drive, in just the movie, appliances they have, the way they dress. But a woman named Anne Francis, because I looked at it, the name of the movie, and then the actors, and her name was Anne Francis. She's wearing this tight skirt, even though the skirt went down to her knees. Man, her ass was dynamite. Oh my God. There were some women that had it, man. I'll tell you what, there are some women. But they waste their youth away. Marion Ross could have made probably 50 times more at Hollywood than she made. Because really, she didn't get that many parts. And her body was totally overlooked. Who knows? Maybe they tried to get her to play parts to where she'd wear a bathing suit, swimsuit, or, as a barroom slut. Men like that image, American women. Well, all men. But she might have been shamed by her mother. Oh no, that would make you bad. That would make you a whore. And she might have turned it down like, no, I won't do that. I won't do that. Women like that waste their youth. As I remember Lenny Miles in '85 that was 51. She had looks in, but she showed me some of the pictures of her when she was younger. Women keep photo albums, sort of like I do. And man, oh man, but she said she lived for this man that screwed her over and then left her later, and he would even abuse her. That's women for you. That's women. They will completely waste their youth on bullshit or be with some asshole, that abuses them and treats them like total crap. That's women for you, but oh man. And oh well. It's terrible. Anybody, I mean, to waste their youth, on idiots. I did some of that myself, my first wife. What a waste of years of my life. Now, I did cheat on her. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. Because look at all the living I would have never been. Up to date, I've counted it. I've been with 144 women in my life. When I say 144 women, I don't even count them to my list unless I performed oral sex on them and then we had the full intercourse and all of it. That I count as sex. So in that way, I've been or had, I've never been with them. I've always had them with me. 144 women. But boy, I've got some good memories too. Man, I remember one named, and this was in 1986, Patty Bell. Oh man, she had an ass. Woo, man, she had an ass. When my first wife was with me in the early 80s, I remember she lived in this trailer park, and yeah, I'm embarrassed, but I had been a fool and bought a mobile home back then around 82. And she'd do yard work and she'd wear these short pants, or I don't know what they call them. When I was a teenager, they called them hot pants on girls. Because my sister Cheryl wore them. It's where they're tight and girls just pull them over and they're like shorts. By the 70s, girls switched over to blue jean cutoff shorts, and then they'd roll the part up. But oh man, when Patty Bell or she would bend over, it would drive me crazy. Oh my God, it would drive me crazy. Well, I remember after my uh first wife, what the way her and my dad did things, I started talking to the ones I couldn't really openly talk to back then. And Patty Bell was still single. And I would just lay it on the line to him. I didn't waste time. And I told Patty, I said, Patty, when you would be sweaty out there doing yard work and working in your garden, and you were sweaty, and said I wanted to get back there and lick your ass all day long. And she laughed about it. She actually liked it. It turned her on because it flattered her. And so I remember she was like 38. At that time, she was in an apartment. And I went over there. I stayed all day. She drove us to this. It was up on 610 Loop just before you get to the Astrodome on this Saturday. It was called Fair Number Two. It was some kind of giant flea market, and then she drove us back there to her apartment. We went into her bedroom and I had oral sex with her front and back. 6 hours. See, I need two hands. 6 hours. 6 hours. Her ass was very much like Barbara Eaton's and Marion Ross. She had that ass. She had that ass. I'll tell you what. But to have a relationship with her, no, it couldn't happen. Because her mind was too messed up, too scattered. She's just, some of them, their minds are just so messed up. But I guess it was meant to be. In this life, guys, mainly this video, it's made for you guys out there. Don't feel guilt about tossing and turning them or even cheating on wives. Don't worry about it. Because us men, we can love our wives. See, I was always devoted. I never would have abandoned my first wife, man. I wouldn't have done that. But I had to cheat because she wasn't complete. See, I had fantasies. And I'd tell her, I'd say, Debbie, paint your face up, be an evil bitch. She didn't understand. So she would be so damn boring. And when we'd have sex, she'd just lay there, and I'd try to talk about fantasies I had or whatever. And she'd be, I don't understand. Okay, yeah, she didn't understand the damn thing about life, I guess. But see, that's why us men cheat right there. Because we can be full of ideas and want women to be naughty. We all kind of want the bad girl. We want her to paint her hair up and for her to look like a vixen or an evil bitch, and to be kind of lewd. We all like that, you know? because we do in that regard see them as meat, flesh, meat, you know. Oh man, my memories. But Vic, or let's say no, Lenny, the one that was 51 back in 85. I have to catch up for all the time she wasted. But she told me, she said, there was so many men, Earl, I'd be so horny, I wanted them to fuck me. But I didn't do it because I wanted to be the good little wife to this asshole. And said, I wasted my damn youth. I should have done it and enjoyed it, you know? And yeah, yeah, she should have. So many people, they waste it, you know? They waste their youth. It's on bullshit traditions and culture they're taught, man. Throw it away, people. Women are for sex. If they're not having sex with you, get the hell away from them. You know, see, the reason I like Pauline right now, well, she's got one of the better asses, you know. But it's because I can be blunt. Like I made a video and I'm like, Sunday, I need to call her. I'm getting horny. I can tell her, it's like, Pauline, I'm horny. You hadn't been over for 3 or 4 days. Let's have some sex. And she'll tell me if she can or not, you know? And I like to get back there and squeeze those ass cheeks and play with them. They look good. Oh yeah, they look good. Mm. I've been sexual even as a child. I was sexual because I remember as early as the second grade, as early as the second grade. At South Houston Elementary, we had young teachers that were in their early 20s. South Houston Elementary must have been pulling these 20-ish young teachers directly out of college. And maybe some man was choosing them because they all had great looks. They were tall and nice looking like Karen Black, you know. And back then they had to wear dresses, you know, they didn't wear pants in the early 60s. And I remember, and they'd be at the chalkboard, a lot of their asses, when I was even in the sixth or the first, no, wait a minute, the second grade, when I'd see them up at the chalkboard, I used to imagine what it'd be like to go lift their skirts and pull their panties down and just feel of their butt cheek, you know, and squeeze them and then pull them apart and look inside. I used to think about that in class a lot, a whole lot. And there was one other boy that did too in the second grade, Stephen White, who said, what I would like to do is go crawl under their dress and them not being wearing underwear and to be under their dress to where nobody could see me and them not knowing about it. And I would be under their dress. And he actually tried it once. Was in the second grade. And I remember there was this Hispanic teacher. She was kind of tall and she had a nice ass. And she would wear those top dresses that it was loose. He actually did crawl up behind her when she was writing on the chalkboard, and he got under her dress. And I remember she moved up and said, Stephen, what are you doing? And then he giggled or whatever. Stephen White giggled like a girl. His dad used to tell him, Stephen, don't giggle like that. That sounds like a girl. But he actually did that. Yeah, he was thinking about things I was thinking about. And I used to have dreams about it too. Yeah, that stuff. But man, I was sexual when I was in the second grade, man. So when I was 7 years old, I had sexual thoughts. Wow. People need to break free from the barrier they live in. Because, see, this video, you know, it's borderline with what is allowed on the internet. Why? It's what life is, people. It's how we all got here. It's like a lot of you go to church, and that's where a lot of your teachings come from. It comes from your parents, your grandparents, and where you might have gone to church as a child, where your mind was programmed, indoctrinated. What y'all all need to realize, that preacher got here because his mother and his dad, they did oral sex, they had intercourse. His wife didn't just lay there and think about washing the clothes or baking a cake. She was into that and going, and why did they get married? For sex. Your grandparents, same thing. Same thing. They were just like y'all. They were doing the oral, the intercourse, everything. And she was going, the way women do. Personally, I don't like noisy women, but that's the average. That's what it's about. The only women I've ever had with me that didn't go, like that, and they were just kind of silent. It was women. I'd find out what it is. They were reluctant because they had guilt. And it would always go back when I talked to them. It's like, well, it's just things my grandmother and my mama taught me. And, you know, and I'd explain to them, some people, they're delusional in denial. Because a lot of women I've known that are even in their 50s and 60s, they'd say, well, my grandmama taught me and my mama taught me this, that. And I'd say, how did your mama, was she born from your grandma, and how were you born from your mama if they weren't doing what they were telling you you're not supposed to be doing? See, people never think about that, but a lot of these older women, they'll defend it and say, well, yeah, they did it, but it was in a different way. A different way, what? What different way? But the shit women, boy, and they have guilt. They have guilt. You know. Oh, the only thing wrong is when a person catches venereal disease or they drink or do drugs. Those things are messed up. And that's the only thing that would be wrong with a street hooker. It's one of those three things. But do you know you can prevent and never contract venereal disease if you would just study what to look for? It's not hard. Because I'm 69, I'm going to be 70, let's see, in 3 months from now, I'll be 70. Never had a venereal disease. And I've had full round sex with 144 women. Okay. And that 144 women is in my adulthood. That's not counting what would be called the incomplete sex. Because when I was a teenager in middle school and high school, I wanted to do oral on girls. Because a lot of times we couldn't do the whole thing, or whatever. And so I would want to do oral on them. But anyway, so much for that. It's just about real life. People wake up, start being real, quit living in guilt about things, quit being fucking phony. I'm a very level headed person. I love children, I love animals. I love animals very much. I have consideration, I have love. I believe in Almighty God, in Jesus Christ, in doing right in life. But I'm not phony. I'm not stupid because we are all, unless there's something wrong with us, we are sexual creatures. Okay, that's the way we are. Because if we weren't, we would become extinct, people. You know. Well, I've already been on here 30 minutes. Hey, any of you kids want to be here on the? Well, here's one. It's only about 3 months old. Come here, baby. See this little panther? Yeah, you want to look up in the camera? How do they know they're on camera? Because see, I know this one right here. Their eyes are looking right at me. They will not look at that camera. I guess they know it's something unnatural. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well, it's a wonderful life. But wow. But oh man, is it worth it all? Is it worth it all? Because some of those women that man turned me on a lot when they were younger, to look at them now, I'd have to figure out a way to run away from them. Woo! Oh my God. Y'all seen the way Sally Struthers looks now? Ugh. But yeah, she turned me on a lot. Not when she was in All in the Family. No. I hated that show. They made her lose a lot of weight to play that part. So she'd look like the virgin girl that just got married to a guy that couldn't get along with his father-in-law. See, that's the image they were trying to put on the people. But before that, she had some weight on her in the movie The Getaway with Steve McQueen, Alan McGraw, and Sally Struthers was in there. She had some meat on her. Oh, man. She should have never lost that. But maybe she was better off to do it because, oh, I don't know. What is life? What is life? Oh, man. But then, man, don't be simple because I'll tell y'all something. Do you know in my life, I have never taken any woman out to eat, and I have never bought any woman a drink in a nightclub because I don't like that game. I don't like that game. Their interests are the same as mine. Okay, people get lonely. They look at your body. They get aroused. They want to have sex. That's the way people are made. When you're younger, enjoy it while you can. Okay? Don't worry about if somebody's going to stay with you or try to stay with them. No, because everything's temporary. Most people in this life, it's going to end one way or the other. It's like my Uncle Don, my mother's brother. Well, he's deceased now, but I remember his wife Catherine died. They were married 52 years. But it still ended, and the hurt had to happen, and the readjustment had to happen to where you have to change your way of doing things. You see, it still happens anyway. It might be later, but it's actually better to end it when they're young and good looking. Don't wait until they're old and ugly and have 40 health problems and die on you. Just go ahead and enjoy them and enjoy them for some months, maybe a couple years, and then chunk them, man, chunk them. Because women have no gratitude. They'll take your house, your paycheck, alimony, child support. They don't care. And when creatures, I call them creatures, when they're like that, don't give a shit about them. Just use them for what you want them for. And guys, quit spending money on them. People, you better save money. Save money. Because, if we have a major depression in this country, which it's coming pretty close, it's actually beginning right now. Do you think those women are going to give a shit about you or take care of you the way you've taken care of them? Or they're going to take you out to eat? Hell no. Uh-uh. They're going to hook up with the men that have hundreds of thousands of dollars or even $1 million. And they're not going to care if you die in the street. Learn to live in reality, people. Love exists, but not in the way you people think it exists. Well, we're into 35 minutes now. Hey, I love you all if you're good people. And too many people in this life have hated me and been against me because I'm blunt and I'm a realistic person. But people, I'm a loving person. You know, it's like my first wife. I would have never abandoned her. But she effed me over. She abandoned me. And why did she leave me? Because my dad had a lot of money. Then both those assholes are dead now. They paid for that dearly. And they're still paying for it, man, you know? But later, in Jesus Christ, I love you. Please have mercy on me. I love you, Jesus Christ, Heavenly Father. And thank you for this beautiful Tuesday. Da-da-da.